If you're here, if you're not here,
record. Yeah,
doesn't matter.
It's recording right now.
We hope
currently.
you're here, but if you're not, oh well.
If you're not, you wouldn't hear us to say that. So, I mean, I guess you could hear that when we release this in the audio, but I'm cutting this part out anyway. So, nope, you'll never hear this. You'll never hear that.
We say into the void.
Oh, what's up?
Hey. Doesn't that add to the preciousness of it, though?
It does.
This moment right now is just for us, just for live streaming people.
And for people on Twitch.
And then it shall be forever burned.
Yep.
But it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Unless I decide to leak my secret archives.
Unless Johnny releases secret archives, in which case we should all flee the country.
Yeah.
So.
Well. Oh gosh, Johnny, please don't. You know what's in the archive.
Welcome to another week of the Flying Bison Podcast. We are here. We are ready to raise Kyoshi Island to the ground. Finally finish what Shin the Conqueror started. It's over. It's over for Kyoshi Island.
We'll collectively step forward as the new Fire Lord.
Yeah, all of you.
Yes. We are.
Rosic would love that. Before we do, a couple announcements. We haven't done this in a while. Steve, do you have any words for our audience?
You know,
I'm putting you on the spot right now. I didn't tell you I was going to do this.
There are so many things I could say. I have not prepared any words. But yeah, I think one thing I could say is thanks for everybody who's followed us on Twitch. It's extremely helpful. Justin, do you know offhand what we're at on Twitch? Are we close to our goal?
No, not really.
All right. Well, if you can just twist somebody's arm, persuade your grandma to follow us on Twitch, whatever you have to do.
Don't even tell your grandma.
Don't you probably know an account for her.
Yeah, you probably know your grandma's email address. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, we're really excited about streaming. Many of you asked for this actually in our survey. So we love that we're doing this. We hope it's cool for y'all as well. But following us there or getting other people to do so is going to be great for helping us donate to causes and things like that. If you haven't yet and you're thinking about it, we'd love support on Patreon, especially as we're cooking up some big stuff and especially as we ramp up for the 100th episode extravaganza shenanigans. But yeah, those are my only words. That's all I could think of.
I just checked.
The Flying Bison Podcast does not condone or endorse identity theft. Just throwing it out there.
Oh yeah, or twisting the literal arms of grandmas.
Individually, we each endorse fraud.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Podcast.
But
as a business. I just checked. We are at 20 followers. Ooh. Which for only, I think we've been live now for
a couple weeks,
a little over a month, over a month actually. I think it was episode 29 that we went live. Yeah. So just a little over a month. It's not out of the question. There's still 5 weeks till our 100th, the big week, our 100th episode celebration week. So it's possible. It's very possible. I know all of you have grandmas. Just use their email address, sign up for a Twitch account, and follow us. Easy, done. Yeah.
And remember Nick's disclaimer.
We'll just reinsert the disclaimer here.
Yeah, don't steal their identity after that. Just sign them up for a Twitch account. It's all you gotta do.
It doesn't count if it's just a Twitch account.
It doesn't count if it's not identity theft if it's Twitch.
I don't know if we know that.
Twitch is owned by Amazon.
We are not legal advisors.
An Amazon Prime account, you already have a Twitch account, so it's really not that complicated.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
So if you use Amazon,
and then you can even subscribe.
Follow us.
Yeah. You get a free subscription every month.
Yeah. You get a free subscription.
It's called Twitch Prime.
It does. So that is great. Thank you, Steve. Next week, normally we're live on Sundays at 11:30 a.m. CST. Next Sunday, the 28th, we will not be live. We will actually be live on Monday, May 29th at 8:30 p.m. CST. Steve had a prior engagement that Sunday, and so we just had to shift some things around. We hope not to do that often. We're hoping that's a once in a blue moon type thing, because it's always better to just have the traction of this is the time that we are live. So next
For
week,
sure.
though, next Sunday, we will not be live. We'll be live on Monday night instead. And then the following week, we'll be live at the same time on Sundays. So it's just next week. That's different. You know, y'all, I had a week. So I didn't have a lot of space for like, what should we joke about? So I think we'll just leave it at that. Follow us on Twitch, and next week we'll be live Monday night instead of Sunday.
Cool.
We joked about following us on Twitch, so
We did joke a lot about following us on Twitch. So
we joked
How
about assaulting your
about-
grandmothers, and you know.
Oh gosh. It just keeps escalating.
Okay. Anyways,
how about a little recap?
How
Yeah,
about it? How
let's do
about
it.
it? Let's change
That's
topic.
time for a recap.
Last week on the Flying Bison Podcast, the assault on Kyoshi Island begins. Ren attacked the Kyoshi dojo in an attempt to either take them out or turn them to their side. Meanwhile, Rosic and Sho Bon tunneled under the island and came face to face with the face stealer itself. And as Che landed in the complex to look for any signs of Leeko, he began to discover that the soldiers of the Song estate are not what they appear. And as the party starts to gather together, two fights begin breaking out. One in the entrance to the Song estate between Ren and his mother, Chen Song, and the other three boys are fighting a jaded Zhinu, the magpie spirit of love that we saw back in the town of Zhinu, as well as a contingency of those aforementioned not appearing as they should soldiers. And with that, we begin. However, we are not going to begin at Kyoshi Island because we haven't seen what a certain waterbender is up to for the last couple weeks. When last we saw Leeko, she had agreed to travel to the southern air temple in order to meet with Guru Patik in order to become a better bloodbender. She did this at the behest of Kavo in the form of Ren, which I think we've taken to calling Kavren. Is that right?
Fine. That's
Kavren?
fine. Yeah, I like it.
Leeko, it is a day or two journey flight from Kyoshi Island to the Southern Air Temple. Again, I don't know distance, so I'm making that up. Is it a day or two? I don't know. I'm saying it is now. So, is Leeko thinking of anything as she's flying, or do you want to just get to the Air Temple?
Yeah, she's thinking about obviously number one. If you don't know who number one is, then it's Che. But she's also thinking about her family, Ren, Rosic. And she doesn't. I can't remember. Does she know what happened to? It says Sho Bon on here, and it's like tripping me out because. But
yeah, you were there for what happened to Osa.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think she's trying to figure out what happened to Osa. If there's.
Mhm.
I think she has an idea because she does have the ability to go into the spirit world too.
Yeah.
So she has like a little bit more education in that field, but still kind of wondering.
She's
mostly thinking about Che.
Yeah, she's more spiritually attuned than the others for sure. So even if she can't necessarily go in the spirit world, she probably has like a sense of things, even if she can't like put some words to it. Well, from high up in the sky, you begin to descend on Rue, and as you do, you see. You've never been to any of the air temples? I know you did a lot of traveling once you left the foggy swamp, but have you gone to any of the air temples?
There was no.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no reason for her to do that.
Yeah. This would be the first time you've seen any of the air temples then, and you have to imagine that when they were in their prime, they were amazing. and beautiful because they're just these like sprawling towers sitting on top of mountains. But now many of those towers are in ruin and rubble. And I think the last time we saw the Southern Air Temple was when Osa went there. And I think we had said that there were still the bodies of all the Southern Air nomads that were there. So when you find a place to land, you find a place in the midst of what obviously looked like a battle. There are like scorch marks along some of the like ruined stone, and there are bodies everywhere. Some are wearing Fire Nation soldier armor, some are wearing the simple robes of the air nomads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think like the moment she slides off Rue, I think the moment like her foot touches the ground, because she's very in tune with nature and protecting life, and also like you said, she's a bit spiritual as well. I think that there's just something that kind of she would feel something,
Mm,
and it's not good,
yeah.
just I don't know. It'd be the equivalent of you walking into a house knowing something bad happened in there. It doesn't feel right, but it doesn't hurt you. But it just doesn't feel right. That's what she would feel.
Yeah. As this like sense of foreboding comes over you, Leeko, you hear a sound coming from down a hallway. It's like something big is like shuffling down the hallway. And it starts out quiet and starts to get louder and louder and louder.
I've already stepped away from Rue, correct? I'm just
You tell me.
kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, well then I would think that Rue would be right behind her. So if she hears that, can feel it, she gets like ready to do something, and then I can imagine Rue just getting into a fighting pounce position.
Mm-hmm. And as you do that, there's like a shadow on the back wall. It looks like just this large creature is shuffling closer and closer to the entrance. And you pause, waiting to see what comes out. And it is a stick-thin man dragging a Fire Nation soldier's body out into this courtyard. And his back is turned to you as he's like pulling this body.
Do I see his face?
I mean, you can
see
see
his body.
He's like pulling it. It's like if someone's like dragging something heavy and they're like pulling it behind them, so his back is turned to you. But like you can kind of see he has a face. He's not faceless.
That actually is very important in this world.
Yep.
Okay.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah. Right. Stop.
Oh. And his figure turns around, and it is very tan-skinned, very brown. He's got this like big, long white beard, and he's wearing like a sarong. And he just kind of like drops, and he's like, "Oh, didn't know anyone was going to be here. I'm Guru Pathik. What's your name?"
I'm Leeko.
Oh. You're the energy I was sensing on its way here.
Yes, sir. I think that's me.
Sort of shuffles up, walking around circles around you now, like eyeing you up and down. Can't do it. Nope. Get back on your dragon otter? Those are rare.
What? You just... What just happened?
You are too imbalanced.
What makes you say that?
It is radiating off of you. Do you not feel that either?
No, I do. So you just won't help me? You just see me as broken? Unfixable?
Nobody's unfixable.
But you just said you can't do it.
Doesn't mean you're not fixable.
Just means I'm not worth your time.
In your current state.
Okay. So in my current state, what would you suggest I do? Just leave?
You're
Where
welcome to
does someone like me go?
You're welcome to stay here and meditate if you want.
You just told me to get on my dragon otter, my very rare dragon otter, and leave.
If you want me to teach you.
You want me
I'm
to
not
leave
the
if you want me to
master of
teach
this
you?
place. I'm not the master of this place. You don't have to go anywhere.
I don't understand. I mean, I've been dealing with this all my life. People taking one look at me, and then now looks at my arm. People still looking at me, not seeing me as complete, as broken. And you do this, and then you tell me to leave, but then you tell me it's okay to stay. How am I supposed to learn from you if you're not even clear with me? And then you make me feel incomplete.
That is the first thing that you have said that is right with the universe.
That's right. Seeing people as broken, treating people as if they're not worth caring for, or they don't have any place in this world if they're not balanced. No one's balanced. How can you be balanced? Look at all these people here. Wouldn't there be something wrong with me if I was completely balanced walking into a place like this?
And how do you think you can control the anger inside of you when it so easily escapes you?
Well, what's wrong with feeling angry sometimes?
Nothing, if you learn to use it. When you let it control you, that is when you throw your chakras off. It invades every cell of your body, and you become something worse than you could have been.
But why is it okay to lose yourself in happiness but not anger?
I never said it was.
But you said I can't let it control me, but I can let happiness control me.
Happiness is not, it is the opposite of anger. Just because you don't let anger control you doesn't mean you let happiness control you either.
So I'm just supposed to be in the middle all the time. Sort of happy, sort of angry, but dull. I'd rather feel really happy in moments where I'm allowed to feel happy than just feel a little bit of it. And if that means I also have to feel anger, I mean, I get I'm not perfect, and I get that, like, I don't always do the right thing, but why am I supposed to just mute how I feel?
It is more about being able to let go, to be comfortable with letting go, to realize that latching on to anything grounds you already too much in this reality. To be at one with the universe is to be willing to let anything go.
What's wrong with holding on?
That is a decision that many people make. You have to decide for yourself what you want. I can teach you to be ambivalent, to love, to feel anger, and to be able to let that go. I took a look at you and could tell you didn't want that. So if you want to go, you can. If you want to stay and meditate here and do whatever you want, you can. If you want me to teach you, it will be difficult.
Well, then teach me. I know I'm difficult. I know that. But I'm here for good, and I know that I'm here for good. And I don't think I'd be disappointed in myself if I tried.
Let's get started. And I think we'll come back and see the fruits of that training at some other point. There will be a role at some point, for sure.
He swells with pride for Leeko and doesn't know why.
that was a growth moment for sure. Let's get back to Kyoshi Island. Let's see what's going on. When we last left, let's set up the scene because we got a couple big things happening right now. The Lonshurs and Sho Bon are surrounded by a group of these like ragdoll song soldiers at the behest of a very obviously corrupted Zhinu, who you have not seen since you left the town of Zhinu and the Fire Nation invasion that went through their town. They have stated that you have left too much heartbreak and death in your wake, have ripped loved ones away from each other, whether intentionally or not, and that it is time for you to be done. And meanwhile,
would be here right now if Ren hadn't poisoned Sho Bon during that fight.
One would wonder.
Let's not think about those consequences.
It's almost
We're literally in them. What do you mean? Don't think about them.
We don't have to talk
These
about
are
the
those
chain
consequences.
of cause and effect. We can just take each event as an isolated incident.
It's almost as if I've had that planned since you decided to do that.
No.
Almost.
No, impossible.
I'm just following the consequences of your own decisions. While that is happening, in the front courtyard, in the entrance of the Song estate, Ren was confronted with his mother, Chen, and through some conversation and a flashback of a memory of Sho Bon telling Ren that these were not his parents, Ren threw his dagger at whatever this thing's head was. It hit straight in the forehead. Her neck snapped back, and a few seconds later, creaked forward again as she charged towards Ren. Now, I realize that I never told you what happened because you did hit with that. So what I'm going to do, Ren, is mark a condition on Chen. Okay?
Solid.
Because you hit.
Yeah.
I want to reward that, even if it is creepy as heck.
I am definitely feeling more creeped than rewarded, but I accept.
I mean, I'll tell you, she only has three conditions. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's possible.
Got to work the angles.
I think we need to go into an exchange.
Okay. So we're focusing on Ren.
What I think we're going to do actually is have you all tell me what exchange is, and we'll kind of shift back and forth between these two battles.
Oh,
here.
multi-scene. Yes.
Multi-scened battle.
Multi-scene. I like that a lot.
Cut, smash, cut. Back, forth.
PowerPoint transition.
Are we talking like a 2022 PowerPoint transition?
Absolutely.
Or like a
yeah, with like the spiral into the spiral out.
Oh, okay.
Unnecessary wipe.
Yeah, the wipes. All right. What stances are you all taking? I will clarify to the other ones. Zhinu, you can attack Zhinu. We'll just figure that out narratively. If you do want to attack her, she will not be taking fighting exchanges like the military squad is going to be taking. What do you got?
Can I defend and maneuver, please?
You absolutely may.
Awesome.
I'm gonna evade and observe.
No, that's what I meant to do. Sorry, evade and observe. I apologize.
Gotcha.
Thank goodness someone said it.
Yeah, no, thanks, Johnny. That was almost a huge mistake.
We've gotten into another. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna
defend and maneuver.
Okay.
Defend a maneuver for Rozak.
Okay. All right. Nobody besides the military squad is going to advance and attack. So I believe that is going to be Ren or Rozak up first. In fact, I'm just going to make a decision. I'm just going to say Ren.
Okay.
Give me a focus roll.
Rolling. Base 7 plus 2 is 9.
Base 7 plus 2 is 9. All right. You can give me one basic or advanced technique.
Okay. I would like to do a mastered technique, twin weapon sweep.
Okay.
And so I'm assuming that since my last scene was Mother Dearest charging at me, that we'll be able to make contact soon.
Yeah.
So when we do, I'm just going to assume the distance, that gap is closed as she's rushing.
Yeah.
Ren has drawn both fans and just starts spinning around and dancing in a flurry.
Yeah.
And so for twin weapon sweep, I get to hold 3 flurry.
3? Yeah.
Yep. And so I just assume there's going to be a lot of avoiding, smacking away her attacks. And Ren is at the same time, just narratively, trying to get a read on these strange movements and just like the horror of what's happening.
Yeah.
and just trying to figure out what she is capable of, really.
What she's capable of.
So if you want me to roll separately for assess, that's fine. But
we can do that in between exchanges. How about that?
sure.
Why don't I'm gonna actually have Chen go, since we're on this scene right now, and then we'll have Rozak roll, because Chen is just going to seize a position, right? I said narratively that she did that. I won't give her that and then let her attack. So Chen, with a blinding speed, Ren, like it almost catches you off guard how quickly she is up in your face, like just in time for you to take your weapons, your fans out, and start trying to block some of her hits as she's dancing around. The two of you are now like dancing around this courtyard, just spinning and avoiding each other's blows. And we cut. Rozak, give me a focus roll.
Okay. That is a 8.
All right.
So basic remastered. Rozak will just like kind of get a visual. Che, Rozak, and Ren are right in the middle, and in front of them is Zhinu, and they're surrounded by these creepy
Che, Rozak, and Sho
guardsmen.
Bon.
Sho Bon, sorry. Yes.
Ren is actually off on his own
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
in a different fight.
Yep. And Zhinu the big bird's there, and they're also being surrounded by.
Immediately cut the tension. Now he's just picturing a big giant yellow bird. Like
Zhinu big bird's there, and a bunch of kooky crazy guys.
Yes, and a bunch of
Sorry,
crazy
them.
guys.
Snuffleupagus just sitting in the corner
Yeah.
watching.
But you
All right.
can't see him. Only Zhinu can see him.
So
Headcanon.
Rozak will put up a pyro wall
Okay.
between the kooky crazy guys and everyone else.
Okay.
So I have to mark fatigue, so I will do that. And it says foes may mark 2 fatigue to remain on the correct side of the wall and remain engaged.
Okay. And where are you cutting people off?
I want to kind of get the guardsmen out of the picture for a while.
So you're trying. Okay. So you're creating now a circle like around the three of you in Zhinu,
Yes.
and trying to keep the guards out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
To sort
And
of support that, I think at the beginning of combat, Che would have said, like, take care of those guys. I have to, like, encounter Zhinu.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured we want some time to maybe talk to Zhinu. So.
Yeah. And I can do
I have a
what? I
plan.
can mark 2 fatigue to have
So
them
it says,
hop
okay,
inside.
so the wording of this is interesting. It says foes may mark 2 fatigue to remain on the correct side of the wall and remain engaged. Then it says immediately after that, crossing the wall immediately inflicts 2 conditions.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
is it
I think because you're trapping them, if they want to try and get through and still be engaged with you, they would have to mark 2 fatigue and 2 conditions.
okay?
And I am not going to do that. So,
Okay.
how long does this firewall stay up until you decide to stop it?
I can remain it each turn afterward. After this, I have to mark 2 fatigue to keep it up.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
I will let you burn yourself out then. You're on a timer. That is very cool. In that case, it is the military squad's turn. Can they do anything? Can Rock stop a firewall?
Nope.
Not really.
Rock, paper, scissors, firewall.
The fourth weapon.
And they are not engaged with you. So I think you kind of just, I think you've stalled them for a round. Yeah, I think so.
What a good lad. What a good lad.
It was like
Nice,
the wall
nice.
thing.
So Che or Sho Bon, give me a harmony or creativity roll. I'll mark one of that fatigue, baby.
I can't find my dice.
I have an 11. I'm
right.
good to go. So, you
Yeah,
find
go
your
for
dice.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
two,
please.
either
Yes.
one practice or learn, 2 master basic.
So I'm going to use 2. And so I want to commit. And so I'm going to shift my balance toward confidence.
Yeah.
And then
tell me what that looks like for Sho Bon.
So I think for Sho Bon, he just kind of like work after a certain amount of time. You kind of learn how to, like, in moments of tension and in the heat of battle, resolve yourself to do what needs to get done, no matter the cost. And so I think he just kind of has that internal moment of like, things are happening, things need to get done. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and just internally steels himself. But I'm also going to test balance. So I'm going to mark a fatigue and step toward Zhinu.
Yeah.
And so this is my roundabout way of asking, because I don't remember what it is, but I get to ask anyway. So I step up to Zhinu. I say, didn't you stand for love? What is this? What are you doing?
I stand for the love of everyone that has lost someone because of your actions. And yes, Zhinu's principle is love. But now that it's just the three of you, or the four of you, Zhinu has obviously been corrupted by Kavo. So that sense of love has been tainted. So perhaps there's some way to break through. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't remember their principle for sure, even though I knew that we knew it. So I don't think I should count that as like being able to do anything else. So that's my turn.
That's fine. I rolled a 14, and I will also be testing it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Che will pick up right off of that. Like, no, Sho Bon. Clearly not the spirit of love anymore. Clearly, this has gone too far. This isn't love anymore. Because love is an acceptance. It's living in the knowledge that things will change. What you have isn't love, Zhinu. And I will test a balance.
Yeah.
So I have to mark a fatigue, actually.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I don't know if you have other fatigue, Mark, but don't forget that you also get to erase one because of the.
I did that.
Okay.
Yeah. So some total of 0. Then I will. Do nothing. I don't really have any other moves to use here. I honestly don't know how I would be able to bolster or hinder anyone. Oh, well, I guess I kind of do. I'm going to hinder the guardsmen outside by doing a quick toss of explosives, like through the firewall. They'll light in it and then blow up outside of it.
Okay. That's okay. I will say that they're impaired then.
Cool. This is kind of just like a blind fire.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're impaired. Let me ask you this. It sounds like you're trying to like egg Zhinu on.
Yes. I want to force them into their own logical fallacy.
Okay.
Confronting their own logical fallacy.
Okay. All right.
It's my story reason for why marking all of their principal track would kind of defeat them, or at least free them.
Give me just a second. I'm gonna pull this up. There we go. Amazing. Okay. I'll mark the one. I'll mark the one on their track. And here's what I will say. you see Zhinu for a moment becomes that like much smaller version of Zhinu that you saw back in the town of Zhinu, and it's like shifting between these two forms. And then it shifts back into the monstrous, corrupted version that you saw just now. And it says, your logic has no place in the realm of emotion, Lonshur. You will need to do better than that to stop me. But it is faltering. But it needs something more than logic. I think is.
Hey, we're getting there.
Hey, you're building up to it. You're building up to it. I got it. Ren, do you want to assess the situation?
I do.
Okay. And then we'll move into another exchange. And then after that exchange...
stop me.
I won't. I asked you if you wanted to.
Yeah, true. Base 6, and for assess, I add...
You add creativity.
Very good, which is now a +1. I'm a 7.
Okay, so that is a hit. You got to ask me one question.
I know. Thank goodness I have some creativity nowadays.
You're like a Connecticut 8.
Yeah, I definitely would have. I would have just said 8. I don't know why we had to throw the region he's from for that.
You know what? Connecticut 8 is a Pennsylvania 10. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We need to expand on this sometime in a banter section. That's really good.
Look, I'll add some more context. A Connecticut 8 is like a California 2.
So true.
Wow, the spectrum is so profound.
And I'm speaking as a California 2 right now. So
incredible.
Lexi's like, okay.
So I think what I want to ask for my one question is effectively, what's my best way through? And the way Ren is thinking about this goal-wise, despite the fact that he is not pulling punches, is still pacification. Is there a way to take care of this threat that hopefully isn't my mother? I think he's mostly blocked out the possibility that it's actually his mother, especially given what it's doing. But you know, so what's my way through this?
I don't think you're going to like this question, but you have seen the fury that this form has come at you with, and you know there's no world in which you can pacify this. You have to fight through this.
Okay. Are we in another exchange, Justin?
I think we are. And then after this exchange, we're going to cut back to the Southern Air Temple.
Okay.
After this next exchange. Tell me what stances y'all are taking.
Defend and maneuver again. And let me know when I should narrate the use of the 3 flurry.
Oh, I think that's at the end of the exchange, right?
Sure. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we could do it at the top of the next one or at the end.
Sure, let's do that. Why don't you give me your stances, and then Ren will let you do your thing.
Yeah, it's been a while. So essentially, any flurry I don't use defensively, I use offensively. And so because Ren has successfully blocked the blows coming at him from Chen, he, takes a more assertive stance, and in his last few spins, just backhands his mom with his fans. I'm gonna spend all 3 flurry to mark 6 fatigue for her.
6 fatigue, okay. I will say that marks all of her fatigue and a condition.
Oh yes. Take that, Mom. That's just headcanon, by the way. Ren doesn't actually say that. Smells like Team Spirit.
Where's like we'll defend a maneuver again.
Okay. Show Che.
Evade and observe once more.
Same deal.
Okay. All right. I like this. Half of you are like having to fight, and the other half are like trying a different tactic. It's fun to like switch the exchanges through that way.
I'm just trying to yell Zhinu into submission.
You can do it.
You should
Stop
feel
it!
so ashamed of yourself.
Stop it!
Well, okay, it's not like fighting them has ever worked. So
Yeah,
No,
spirits.
I think we're on the right track, but
You are right. I think that's a good play. Ren, why don't you go first?
Why don't I? All right, I rolled base 8, so 10. I'm doing good. And to defend and maneuver, I would like to continue with another twin weapon sweep. Yeah, I don't know if we just lost Justin temporarily.
Okay. I was gonna say I was like
you kept
at
saying
first it seemed like
maybe
you were
Steve's
still
talking
responding to him.
Justin
I was very confused.
Was I delayed? Are you saying?
No, it was me. It was me for sure. I had pulled up WhatsApp so I could send you a message, Steve, and then Mike was like, "Can't do that." So I'm just gonna put it in our Riverside chat. So everyone can
That's
see
fine. That's fine.
No secrets.
No secrets here.
What did you do? You just did twin weapon sweep again, yeah?
Yes, and
Okay,
I think
perfect.
so. With a 10, do I get a second move?
Since
that one's
twin weapon sweep
mastered?
is mastered, then yes, you do.
Yes.
You get a second. Yep.
Okay. Can the second one be a practiced or no? Is that too
Cannot.
much?
It has to be
That's
basic
OP.
or mastered. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. And the second one will be retaliate, stealing myself for further blows.
Yeah. That makes sense.
My defense is my offense. Hashtag Ren Song 2023.
Okay. All right. You are getting ready. And I'm gonna skip to Chen. We'll keep the spotlight on this little battle right now. Chen Song is going to advance an attack, and they get to make two moves since you you did not increase there. Okay, they're just gonna do one. What do I want to do? Can't do that. Oh, let's do that.
Oh no, not that.
They're going to do rock column. So these two rocks just jut out from like both your left and your right, hampering your movement. You're like having trouble now spinning around Chen Song as well as trying to like maneuver around these rocks. Give me just a second.
Sure. By just a second, Justin meant.
I gotta leave.
I'm leaving forever.
While we wait for it. Ren, I'm so glad that you chose to make your mom's name so similar to yours. It's very convenient for
Thank you.
fight. I always know exactly what's going on.
You don't think Chen Song is different enough from Ren Song?
It told me that it was having trouble recording, so I wanted to back out and hop back in because I don't know what it stopped recording at. So I'll say these two rock columns jut out from your left and your right, making it difficult for you to maneuver around Chen, as well as like not like knock your head into one of these rock columns. It's really hampering your movement at this point. I would like for you to mark the impaired condition, please.
Oh, impaired. Okay. Any fatigue?
No, there's no fatigue with that. It's just just impaired. Yeah.
Okay.
I chose that because I can't mark any fatigue. So
I accept my fate.
you do. You have to accept it.
Now,
And
with
with that-
impaired, is this something that I can react to given my choice to choose
Twin
the
weapon
flurry?
sweep.
Yeah, the twin weapon sweep. Like,
Yeah,
could I
does it
use
let
my
you-
flurry here to avoid an
Let
inflicted
me-
condition?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to.
Okay, because I do not want to be impaired right now. I will spend one flurry.
Yeah. Okay, so you only have the 2
Very
flurry
good.
left. Yeah. Man, that is
Good.
a killer move. It's a killer
Okay,
fighting
when in
technique.
Twirl.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Wait,
I
so,
think with
question, just real
Yeah,
quick, for my own brain's sake, does that flurry thing, is that similar to like the key points that a monk gets in 5e, where like you get to do extra stuff because you have those, or is that
somewhat?
It
There's
doesn't
always
seem to
these,
function as extra stuff.
Yeah.
okay?
A lot of PBTA, or at least Magpie PBTA games, will have these like meta currency things. In this case, Flurry is like a meta currency where you can like spend it in that exchange to do extra stuff.
Okay, so exactly like key points. Cool. We can move on.
Yeah.
The extra stuff is just the absence of bad things. That's it.
Yeah,
If that's
it'll
the thing.
usually it's a little more specific than key points, I think, because key points is like I can do these various spells and like increase my speed and all of that, and like in the text,
As a monk, but
isn't there one of the subclasses that lets you?
I don't know.
D&D.
Maybe. Not that I know of.
Okay, all right. I don't know enough about 5e, so I'll just take your word for it. All right, moving on to the Zhinu fight. Let's keep things moving. It is Rozak. Defend and maneuver. You gonna spend that 2 fatigue? Keep that firewall up?
Rozak will spend the 2 fatigue. And
Can you spend the 2 fatigue?
Yes, I can. I only have 2 marked. Rozak spend the 2 fatigue. He looks behind him at Sho Bon and Chano. He says, "Whatever you guys are doing, do it fast. I don't know how much longer I can do this." And so he'll do that. I forgot to roll.
Rozak, we're talking, dude. Come on.
Okay, I rolled a 7 for focus. So
okay, so you can do one.
So I'm marking 2 fatigue. I will mark my last fatigue.
Okay.
And so Rozak will. I'll do. Wait a minute. Can I?
No, you can't.
Tell me what you want to do.
I can't do that.
You can't do it. Johnny was right.
Flame shield is not mastered.
Yeah, you cannot. You gotta do basic or mastered. Sorry, buddy.
Wait a minute. No, it brings it to an 8 only.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Gotta make a decision, my friend.
All right. Rozak will just. He will retaliate then.
Okay.
So
You're
he's
also
just
retaliating.
He's just
Waiting, holding the wall up,
holding that wall
waiting
up.
for them to come through.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It is Sho or Che. What you got?
Sho Bon.
Give me that harmony or creativity roll, and then let's do it.
Yeah, another 11 for me.
All right.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. All right. So we'll just go with Sho Bon first. You can do two techniques.
Okay, so I will use bolster or hinder. I can decide how I actually want to use that, so I'm going to do that second. But then I'm going to test balance again and take another step toward Zhinu and reach up a hand and touch her. At like the side of her neck, like where the wing meets the.
Yeah.
And I say, loss is a part of love. Things happen. And the things that happened were because we were protecting the people that we love. What we've done, it does not defy what you believe. It's because we believe in the same thing.
I will be marking another on her principle. As you can see, this form continuing to falter back and forth between this corrupted version and the Zhinu that you have met before and know. And Then it switches to the regular Zhinu, and it well, as soon as you touch it, Sho Bon, it looks at you with like pleading in its eyes. And it pained whispers. Only an act of love can break his corruption. And then she switches back to that larger corrupted version and like swats you away. You go like skittering back on your back. It doesn't hurt you, but skitter on your back, and she's pushed you away.
I will shift my balance to restraint because I am not fighting. I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
It's very slowed down for Che. I will take one basic technique, which will be that's balance. And I will say love without the acceptance of loss, without accepting the inherent presence of faith in love, is just obsession. And that obsession is a cage to anyone and everyone that it is directed at. Love has to be more. You can't be less than that.
And the form continues to shift back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It gets more erratic now as it looks as though the Zhinu that you know is trying to fight through this corruption as best it can. I will be marking the last on their principle, but
I need to do something special.
There needs to be some, in the same way that you had to clear Wan Shitong's corruption. Something needs to be done rather than just talking to Zhinu. And that was what I was trying to indicate with what it said to Sho Bon. So for now, the spirit is unable to hurt you. It is currently caught in this fight between itself as to what to do. Sho, I think we skipped your bolster and hinder. What did you intend to do with that?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe we can make things just a little bit simpler and instead of like dwelling on this and say what if all of that was just one thing and seeing Zhinu flickering back and forth puts the soldiers off balance.
Like there's some connection between them.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. Yeah, I think they're already
impaired, right?
Yeah, they're already impaired actually, and so I will say that they are. Yeah, I like that. I like stunned. That makes sense. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, whatever is powering these soldiers is whatever is powering these soldiers is now off balance as the corruption has started to weaken on Zhinu. And it is at the end of the exchange. Next exchange, you will need to do something to clear this corruption out of Zhinu rather than just talking to it. But I will give you time to think about what that is as we will be cutting back to the Southern Air Temple.
Ooh.
Monroe's like, no, I was eating pizza. I'm sorry I cut your lunch off, Monroe, or your breakfast, pizza breakfast.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was like, okay, because my stomach was.
I got a moment. Oh, I know. I literally never eat when we record, so like I just like go straight until we're done recording, and then I'm like, I'm so hungry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I would like to say that there's probably been like a montage of like a day of meditating and training with Guru Pratik. I don't really am interested in like in the exact moment we picked up, because I also want to make sure that this resolves so that way we can get you back to Kyoshi Island and the rest if you want to do that. So maybe there's been some talk already, but you're like sitting now cross-legged in front of Guru Patik, and it's just he's got his eyes closed, and he's just sitting there, completely silent.
And my eyes are closed, and then I kind of open one of them, like trying to squint my eyes. Maybe it'll make it work. Maybe it'll make it work faster. Whatever.
You can't force yourself to let go.
So how am I just supposed to let go without forcing it? Caught you there.
He's silent for a moment. He just has this like wry smile on, and he opens his eyes. And he goes, okay, all right. I can see this is going to take some time. We can do a ritual that will help us connect with our inner selves. It will allow you to confront what you fear most, and then allow you to learn to let go.
Okay. So for everyone else, it's just easy to let things go?
It's impossible for most people to let go.
But in order for me to do what I want to do, what I feel I need to do, I need to learn how to do that. Do the impossible.
You are the only block stopping you.
Okay.
One moment. And he leaves and walks into one of the towers. He's gone for just a moment, and he comes back with a tea kettle and 2 teacups and pours tea into each of the cups and sits down cross-legged in front of you, takes a sip and puts it down, and then closes his eyes. And with his eyes closed, gestures for you to do the same.
I close my eyes.
And drink the tea.
Yeah. Am I supposed to?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't have to, though.
You're supposed to, but you don't have to.
Yeah. I can't make you do anything. Leeko, you close your eyes. Do you take a sip of this tea and close your eyes? And the wind is whistling in the background. And then all of a sudden, it starts to give way to the sound of frog squirrels and cricket moths. And the sound of the wind whistling in the air is replaced with the sound of wildlife. As you open your eyes and you realize that you are in the foggy swamp.
Am I home?
And as you say that, in the distance, you see the village of Udai, the town that you grew up in the foggy swamp. It is empty, except for one figure standing in the wooden walkway. It is Kanu. And she sees you and beckons for you to follow her and walks into the house that you grew up in with her.
I look around and is everything the same as I remember it?
Mm-hmm.
See. I'd like to make a move, like my
Tell me
cut the
what you
garbage
do.
move.
Hmm.
I just ask, "Oh, what does this have to do with anything?"
Oh, how interesting. Cut the garbage. So you follow after Kanu to ask that? Or like you're still a distance
Well,
away from her? Or just
you
like
said
shout that up into the air?
Well, because I see everything's exactly like and I
You
know that.
remember it, yeah.
Yeah, and I know I'm not really there, but I'm not sure what the point is to all this. So, yeah.
Yeah. So my question still stands. Are you just shouting that up into the air? Are you asking that of whatever this Kanu figure was?
Up in the air.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll quite yet. Because when you do that, the town of Udai vanishes, except for the house that you grew up in, the one that Kanu walked into. I think also the one that you and Shay had a conversation about whether to go with Iron or not. That is the only thing left in this swamp. It is as though something is leading you there.
I go inside my old house.
You see Kanu sitting at a table all by herself. We've been waiting for you.
She is sitting at a table?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I sit across from her. And I say, "Who's we?"
Your subconscious.
I imagine Leeko just turning pale.
I'm obviously not Kanu. You know what you did to her. We know what we did to her. Leeko, what is your biggest worry?
You already know.
I need you to say it. You need you to say it.
My biggest worry is that everyone I love doesn't really love me back, and that I'd be alone. I don't want to be alone. Been alone for a long time. I'm afraid nothing's really real. And and just I'm afraid to be alone.
And the scene of the foggy swamp in this house vanishes. And you are now standing next to Kanu in the Siwang Desert, completely alone. And Kanu nods and points out into the sands. You can see a structure out there. And when you look back at Kanu, the figure is gone.
I walk towards the structure.
And as you are walking, the wind is whipping the sand up. And you start to see moments in your life. Even some that you don't remember, you see your parents. They're like tossing you like you do with kids, catching you, and you're giggling and laughing. And then they'll do it like a waterbender would, where they'll like take this water and like throw you up in the air, and like then you'll like slide back down the water. You see these moments of them pointing to these various flora and fauna in the foggy swamp as you're a little baby and you're trying to grab it and touch it and play with it. And then you see an empty shack, destroyed, and a crib in the middle of all of this. We see a hand trapped underneath wood. And then we see a figure. We see Kanu walk up to the crib and lift you up out of it and quickly leave the cabin. We then see scenes of Kanu raising you, teaching you how to fend for yourself. And in your memory, it's always been, she's a very like no nonsense mentor, mother figure for you. It's always how you remember her. And now as you're seeing these exact same memories, you can see how proud she is of you. And then you walk a little bit further and you see meeting your new family, the Lonshurs and Sho and Ren. We start seeing all the moments over the last couple years. We see the loss of Osa. We see you all defeating Now, Zhao, we see Che, and he's taking you, walking amongst the stalls in the Northern Water Tribe. We see Che looking like Now Zhao. And as all of this happens, you're just confronted with all of these moments, and they start to consolidate and solidify into just moments of you and Che. And then before you know it, you are at the cabin. It's just a lone wood cabin in the middle of this desert. What do you do?
So when you say that I'm alone, is that something like another visual that I see, or is that just the visual stopped and I realize I'm alone?
The entire time they've been visions. They've been your memories, your moments, but those have ceased. You're just standing in front of this cabin, and you know that. I mean, that's a good question. Maybe you felt alone. I don't know how you feel now, having seen all those moments as you walked to this cabin.
So I'm walking towards it. I haven't entered it
You're
yet.
now at the front. Yeah. The door is closed.
I say, I know you can hear me. And I know what I saw, and I know that it's showing me that I haven't been alone. But you also know that it doesn't mean it's forever.
And there's a chill. Oh yeah. You knock, and there's a chill that now permeates this scene as the door creaks open as soon as you knock on it. And littering the ground are the dead bodies of your parents and Kanu, Osa, Sho, Ren, Rozuk, and in the middle of all of them is Che's body. And standing above them is you. You are holding a knife in your hands. The blood is dripping down your hands. And then the Leeko fake snaps her head and looks at you with these glowing white eyes.
The only thing blocking me is me. I'm my worst enemy. I'm what I'm afraid of.
And the Leeko figure starts shambling towards you, the knife coming closer and closer.
I let her get closer, but I put my hand behind my back, and out of my fist, I kind of grow an ice spear, a short one.
And it gets closer and closer and closer until it stands face to face with you. And you can feel pressure in your stomach as it is just slowly moving this knife into you.
I press my spear against her stomach. I don't push it or anything. I just press it.
And the pressure in yours stops. And this otherworldly version of your voice comes out of its mouth as it just hangs open. What are you willing to lose? What are you willing to lose?
For what?
What are you willing to lose? It just keeps repeating that over and over and over again.
For what?
And then the figure shifts. It's no longer you looking at yourself exactly how you are. It is like toddler Leeko. She's now standing just at your knees. For yourself.
What am I willing to self? That's what you're asking me.
It nods.
That doesn't make sense. All these things, all my faults, even my fears are part of who I am. And you want me to let those things go so I can get myself back?
You're the only one standing in your way, Leeko. And the scene dissipates. The cabin is gone. You're now just standing alone in the desert. And we cut to a courtyard in Kyoshi Island. A wall of fire surrounds Zhinu and the Lonshurs brothers and Sho Bon. As Che, you walk up to Zhinu, it flickering constantly between its two forms.
I understand. I get it. I know why people fall from the path and why obsession feels so much like love. I understand Now's Out Launcher and what he did. But it is cowardice. It is motivated by fear to not make the leap, to not jump off that ledge and accept that the person you love will be different, will be a different person, and to make the impossible statement that you will love that person too, and the person that person becomes, and the person that person becomes, and that every person you become will also love that chain of people. It's an insane thing to say. It is hope. And you can't be a realist about it. That's the way that I choose to love Leeko of the Foggy Swamp. It's the way I choose to love my friends. It's the way I choose to love my brother. It's the way I'll choose to love my parents. And that's greater than any obsession or any perversion of love.
The form continues to flicker back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As soon as you end your speech, there's just this shockwave of energy that emits from Zhinu. It breaks the wall of fire. And as it does that, all of the soldiers in their ragdoll forms just collapse onto the ground. And you look up at Zhinu, and Shinu's shaking their head as if waking up from a long slumber. You have freed me. You understand now.
Yeah, it was a trip.
That is the Che I remember. Come. This isn't over quite yet.
Wait, where did Leeko go?
I believe Kavo sent her to the Southern Air Temple for training.
With whom?
A master of harmony and balance.
Seems like a weird friend for Kava.
They're not friends. Kava was here. Now it's our chance to stop him.
Let's go get him, I guess.
And you start
Hey,
following
can you fix my bending?
Now's not the time. Come on, we have to go.
Okay, but I could be way more helpful in a fight if I could just bend the earth again.
I can't do that. I'm a spirit of love. Love and peace, baby.
I love earth bending.
Can't do
Forever.
anything with that. All right. We cut now to the entrance of the Song Estate. Ren, you did twin weapon sweep again. So here's what I want you to do. Inflicting that much fatigue, if you spend it all, actually, even if you just spend one, is going to take Chen out.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me what you do.
I think Ren sees Chen's stance and speed weakening and slowing. And his fans and just takes a very sharp strike with his palm into the center of his mother's chest. And he strikes her, and as she staggers, he can't help but say, "You're not mother." And then he strikes her again. More palms as he advances.
Mm.
Where is she?
The anger and the fury in her face, even though you know that she has been weakened, you can see the determination in her demeanor as she spits out venomously at you. You will never get to your brother. I will stop you.
Ren's had enough. So he steps forward, sweeps one of her arms out of the way, and then uppercuts her and grabs her and lifts her off the ground by her neck and slams her down onto the earth.
And as you grab her neck, you're in the motion of slamming her down, and you can see that the demeanor in her face softens to the Chen Song that you know.
Oh.
And you slam her down into the ground as she coughs and sputters, no longer looking like the furious creature that you were fighting. She is now coughing up blood.
Stop it.
I'm
You
sorry.
can't fool me, Kavo. Where is she? Where is my mom?
Ren, I have always been proud of you. And I'm sorry for what I let your father do. You have to stop him.
Oof, Ren is beginning to reckon now that Kava would have no advantage in saying these things. And he starts to tear up. Mom, I didn't know. Mom, I'm sorry. we can get you a doctor or something. Somebody here can help.
Forgive you. And her body collapses.
Ren bows his head and weeps over his mom's body.
And you have a moment before you start to hear feet coming down. And in order to get to Kavo, Zhinu brought them just around here. So Che and Rozik and Sho, you walk up and come over behind one of these buildings and see in the entrance of the courtyard Ren kneeling over someone's body.
Is that
You okay,
Kavo?
Ren?
Che just runs over to him.
Ren looks up at y'all with the most broken expression you have ever seen in him.
Che will pull him into an embrace. Still kind of crouched over, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How much does Ren look like his mother?
A lot.
A
I
lot.
take more after Chen than
Okay.
I. Yeah.
I think
That's
I think
very
coming
clear.
over and seeing that, like, Sho Bon, just
It's Ren turns away from his mother. It was Kavo. It was. Until the end. Are you all right?
We're fine.
Ren, I am so. This isn't over.
It can be for you, if you want it to be.
Yeah, you can go back to the ship. We'll finish this if you need.
It wasn't the plan. And Ren forces himself up to stand slowly.
Che will help him to his feet.
He whispers, I'll come back. Not quite fully looking back at her body, but turning slightly towards her.
Justin.
Nick.
Shot in the dark. Che bends some water, like, he's got like a canteen or something around his hand.
Yeah.
And holds it up to her chest as best
Why
as he
did I
can.
know? Why
Can't
did I
even
know?
regular water bend. but
Why
he's
did
gonna
I
use it.
know?
He's just shot in the dark.
You
I
have
can
to
do
roll a
nothing.
18.
You can just say that's not even worth a roll.
Let's just say 18 is the number you have to roll.
Yeah, if this was D&D, that's what I would do. I'd be like, you roll a natural 20 right here? Sure. Unfortunately, we got to follow the fiction, and I can't conceive of any possible way that Che would be able to do healing.
Yeah.
Barely knowing how to waterbend.
He tries to like reach out, tries to do something, but
I want to.
he can barely hold the water around his hand.
Let's do something else, though. You put the water around your hand, and you hold it over Chen's body. And for a moment, you kind of like lose your grip on the water, and it starts to falter, and you could swear that some of the pebbles around Chen's body start to move, and then they stop, and the water swirls back around your hand.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah,
This-
sorry.
this is
me-
not-
No one saw it.
Let's go.
Yeah, this is. I just thought I'd give it a shot. Sorry, Ren.
Ren has still been staring out kind of between you guys and Mom,
Yeah.
and he just
Shobon-
manages a nod.
Sho Bon's gonna like move himself directly in front of Ren.
Mm.
Look at me. This was not your fault.
Understand that?
Ren swallows and nods.
Okay. Now, I need to put friend hat away for a second. We need you here if you're going to stay here.
I can fight. Sho.
You promise you can make good decisions right now.
If I doubt myself for a moment, I'll just listen to all of you.
Are there any pirates around, Justin? Sorry, real quick. No? All right.
Mm-mm.
So at least
Um,
Friend doesn't have to worry about like having to lead pirates.
No, it is just the four of you.
Like Ren is telling the truth.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, like
Suspicious mind.
Do all three of us have suspicious mind?
if I had suspicious mind, I would roll suspicious mind. I don't have
Okay,
suspicious
okay.
mind, so I have to just ask you, does it feel
I think that's the
Ren's
first time
telling
I
the
ever
truth?
failed a suspicious mind roll. So I can't
Like-
help you.
Like I said, Ren's expression is devastated, but as best you can tell, he's sincere.
Okay.
We knew this could happen. Let's finish.
Okay. I just want to make sure. We can't afford
Four of us.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. As we turn to like kind of move on to the next space, I kind of, if I can, get like line of sight with Rozak and.
Ren.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if Ren sees this, but I sort
Mhm.
of silently
Sure.
like, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do. Ren is, moving forward, like picks up his fans and everything, and
Yeah.
and tries to take the lead, but also just still has that like elsewhere expression.
Yeah. Again, as Ren tries to take the lead, I think Sho grabs his shoulder. Where would your father be?
You all came in through the treasury, right? As planned.
Mm-hmm.
It's not far from there. The opposite way you came.
Okay.
It's something like a throne room.
Okay. I'm gonna lead.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start.
And Rozak will purposely take the back of our little group and have his flame shields up behind, cautiously moving with them.
Yeah.
We
All
have
right.
played around with this before, Justin. If it's a no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I want to like just have Sho, even though we're not in exchange right now, as we're moving, just like
Mhm.
put his earth armor on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that makes sense. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do that. It's a master technique too, right? Like,
Mhm.
you've done it plenty of times. The sound of battle has started to subside. It's hard to tell, are we winning? Did we lose? Whatnot. But the sound of cannons has lessened as you make your way to the room that Ren has indicated is probably where his dad is. It is this giant gilded gold door. And as you push it open, at the end of the hallway, you see Ren sitting and lounging on a throne. And standing right by his side can only be Ren's father, Ai Song. And the figure on the throne sits up and leans forward and goes, "Welcome to your end." And the scene goes black. I would like to go to the Southern Air Temple one last time to see if we can get a way to have Leeko show up soon to this battle. I don't know if you sit in that desert alone by yourself for a while, but if you do, eventually you come out of this trance. And when you do, Guru Patik is just sitting there staring at you. So? What did you see?
A lot. Look, I know I'm not all good. And I also know I'm not all bad either. And I know I have a lot to learn. And I think as long as I'm alive, I will always be learning more about who I am. And it is hard. It's hard to let things go, especially the things that hurt you. And I think it's a little okay to hold on to some of that. But I think if you hold on to those things too tightly, I think, at least for me, I didn't see how many people I did have. And I am afraid to lose them. But I'd rather be afraid to lose people than not have people at all. And I know a lot of people see me as broken. But I love who I am. And I need to go back to my family.
He nods. I can't stop you. Think long and hard, though. If you go back to them, attach yourself to them in ways that will stop the energy flowing through your body as you let love and anger build up in yourself, you will always be afraid to lose.
I don't think being afraid to lose people is a bad thing.
It's been wonderful meditating with you, Leeko of the Foggy Swamp. You have grown as a person. I wish you the best of luck in your journeys. Now I have to sit here for the next 80-some years to wait for somebody very important to come here.
Can I ask you something?
He had closed his eyes to go back to meditating, and he opens one up again.
Did I fail this?
You made a decision. That's all anyone ever does. You make decisions, and you deal with the consequences. Be proud that you made a decision.
I am.
He smiles. You'll go far. Oh, one last thought. You have always had the power to stop your greatest enemies. And then he goes back to meditating.
Thank you.
Doesn't
And then-
respond. Yeah.
Where am I exactly? Am I like on a cliff or something? Just in the desert?
Yeah, you're just like on like a veranda overlooking some mountains on top of a tower in the Southern Air Temple. If you make your way down a little bit to like another one of the towers, that's where, Rue's been hanging out waiting for you.
Well, I'm going to do something I've never done before, and I'm just going to run off that cliff, and Rue's going to already be in sync with me.
That's pretty dope. I don't want to make you roll because that's pretty cool.
Please don't make me roll. Because
if you miss.
Guru
And-
Pratik doesn't see Rue, so he just thinks that she's straight up jumping off the cliff for some reason. No!
Yo,
I just love
Very
the
Aladdin
implication of a failure. Like you just jump
Yeah.
a story down and faceplant. Like
No.
I'm okay.
okay, I
It
thought
went
it was
differently in my mind.
pushing that differently.
and off.
Yeah.
You jump off and land
Uh-oh.
on. Oh, am I
Oh.
still
Oh,
still
you're
going?
back.
There we go.
We're back.
I'm back now. You jump off the cliff, and we hear whoosh, and then whoosh, as Rue soars past, picks you up, and you go flying off into the distance. I'm assuming to Kyoshi Island.
That's where her family is.
That is where her family is. You make your way in. That's like the scene we end on. It's like this shot of Guru Pratik just sitting and meditating as you fly in the background towards Kyoshi Island. And we will find out what happens next week in what has to be the conclusion of the assault on Kyoshi Island. Thank
Salt on
you.
Kyoshi
Wow.
Island.
So much for hanging out with us. That was a great episode. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all for playing with me. I have incredible players, and I'm just so thankful for them. Thank you, listeners, for exploring the foreign nations with us, and we hope that you come back next week. See ya. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
I